Good morning, everyone.
We are so excited today because we are working with Heraklion's tourism board, and we are going to go on a tour of the city and learn all about the culture.
So the first thing, our guide Christina is going to give us a historical overview of this lovely, lovely place.
We're going to start our walking tour right now. Our guide for the day was the extremely knowledgeable Christina. She started the tour by talking about the island of Crete.
We can begin with the whole island because you told me that you began your tour from Chania. From Chania, you already saw that it's a big and long island. It's very big. It's the biggest that we have in Greece. It's the fifth biggest and longest in Mediterranean Sea after Sicily, Sardinia, Corsica, the island of Cyprus. Finally, is the island of Crete.
Oh, okay. So it's number 5.
The 5. Number 5.
After talking about Crete, Christina introduced Heraklion and gave us a brief history of the city.
This is the city of Iraklion. We begin in these dark ages when we had just one little natural harbor over there, which remains in the same area. We are talking about centuries before Christ was born. We begin, of course, with the area outside of the city of Heraklion, with Knossos, the area of Knossos, up on the hill with the first village.
Through the ages, Heraklion's strategic position allowed it to become a hub for trade and culture.
Finally, this small village was developed in a bigger town, but of course not in the in the size that we have nowadays.
Iraklion has fallen into the hands of various empires. These include the Romans, Byzantines, Turks, and Venetians. After the fall of Constantinople, Iraklion experienced a golden age.
We have the blossom, we could say, and the flourishing of the island of Crete. It's seen actually in the painting, especially in the art domain.
After a crash course about the history of Heraklion, Christina then took us on a tour of the city.
It's incredible how many changes of ownership it's gone through. From the initial Minoan times, it's changed hands several times. The Venetians were the first ones to come here and actually take over the city. They left their mark, and over time the buildings have been reused in some instances, like this marble entrance frame. It was used initially by the Pope, who was from here. He built it, and then the Turks came and they used the same frame for their armory, and that building is now being used as the court system, and it's incredible how much history has gone into this place. Our guide Christina is an absolute encyclopedia of knowledge when it comes to Cretan, Greek history. She goes into so much detail and tells us so eloquently. Behind me is the statue of Yannis Vlachos.
Yannis is the name of this man. Actually, he was not his real name. His real name was Yannis Vlachos.
And he was the first Greek who tried to start a revolution against the Turks. The Turks obviously did not like it, and they skinned him in this very square. It's pretty crazy that this seemingly innocuous, innocent street has had so much bloodshed. In fact, this street was one of the biggest slave markets in all of Europe. In 2021, there's a man just playing the harmonica and guitar, but a couple of 100 years ago, that very well could have been a slave store. Pretty mad.
It's great. I understand everything that you're saying.
So this is one of the artifacts that the Turks didn't actually destroy, ironically, because it doesn't actually have a face. So in Islamic or Muslim culture, the depiction of gods or the god is not allowed, and any depictions that they came across, like for example in churches, they actually ended up destroying. In fact, this is a water fountain that was actually created by the Turks. It was created by a charity owner whose son had died, and this was his way of expressing his grief.
Okay. But because of the fact that the fountains were put in the middle of roads, they used to give them also the name Sebil. Actually, that was a charity seville, a charity fountain.
As we made our way around the city, Christina told us about the meaning of the Greek flag.
They took the blue and white of the sky and of the sea. And also they added the sign of the cross in order to identify and to declare in which part of the world we belong, in the Oriental Muslim world or in the Occidental Christian world. Because if you count, it's 9 stripes, like 9 syllables of a slogan that they used to cry during the great revolutions. Ελευθερία ή θάνατος. That means in Greek is ελευθερία ή θάνατος. That means freedom or death. And it's the 9 stripes of the Greek flag.
Interesting.
One of the highlights of the trip was reaching Martinengo Bastion. This is the site of Kazantzakis' grave.
What does his inscription say?
I hope nothing, I am afraid of nothing, I am free.
So we've just climbed the city walls and we're actually at the largest bastion. We can overlook the entire city of Heraklion, and we just found out just over there in the distance there's a dragon-shaped island. But just up on here you can see the entire city of Heraklion. You can even see the other bastions, which are strongholds within the city wall. So we're just walking past the area of Lakos. Geographically it's the lowest part of the city, and even economically it was considered to be the poorest part of the city. However, they're making efforts to rebuild the area. As you can see all around me, they're making the roads a lot wider and tearing down the old buildings while making the new ones.
This is the biggest church that we have in Crete. Almost 8,000 of people can go inside.
And just like that, we are back in the main square.
The town hall. So it's a double floor building. Actually, until nowadays we call it loggia with the Venetian term.
We had such a lovely time with Christina.
Me too.
She taught us so much. We learned all about the history and we loved it so much. So
I loved it also. I enjoyed that. Have a nice trip around the world.
Thank you.
And I will follow you in the Instagram.
Yeah.
One-way ticket.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you also.
And good luck
Thank you.
to whatever you do. Okay?
You too. Thank you.
Thank you. We have just finished our tour with Christina. She was absolutely
I loved it.
amazing.
She really was. She was the best tour guide. She gave us so much knowledge. We want to thank the Heraklion Tourist Board because they so graciously allowed us to have Christina as our tour guide. We highly recommend a visit to Iraklion if you are in Crete, and definitely take one of their tours.